Do you want to have a good classroom discussion where you can discover what your students are thinking and learning? I want to talk with you about word phrase, a routine that helps students engage with and make meaning from a text. And that could be a quote from a prophet or a scripture passage. This routine provides structure for a classroom discussion. The power in this routine lies in the discussion of why a student chose a specific word or phrase and why it stood out to them. Let's get into the details and see how this word phrase routine works. First, have them read the text. This could be a quote or a scripture passage, and encourage them to mark, underline, highlight, tag, and really look for the details that stand out to them. Then you'll start round one, and you invite each student to select a word that is really important to them. Then you'll have those students get into small groups, maybe a group of 3 or 4, and have them share and record each of their word choices. So designate one person as the scribe to write the word choices, and each person in turn will have the opportunity to share what their word was, emphasizing the why behind that choice. So they don't just share the word, but they also share why that word was important. And as they share that, the other people in the group can comment on it, can add to it, make a connection that was meaningful to them too. As a quick example to show you how this could look, let's say you're using this quote as the text that your students are going to be examining. And when you do the word round, somebody might pull out this word, work. Somebody else might pull out the word nurture. Someone else might pull out the word own. So they can comment and discuss on that word choice. Then round 2, you have the students work independently to go back to that text and select a phrase that's meaningful. After they've selected a phrase, they go back to their small groups and they share and record their phrase choices. And as they do this, make sure that they emphasize the why behind that choice and invite the others in the group to comment or discuss and make connections, add to what it is that they're talking about as they describe the why behind their phrase choices. When you get to the phrase round, somebody else could pull out the phrase, feed it truth. Someone else might pull out this one, I plead with you. Or to this one, take charge of your testimony. Now that all of the word choices and phrase choices have been selected and discussed, you go to the reflection. In this part, the groups will reflect on those choices and they'll compare the choices to the text, and they'll figure out, were there any themes that emerged? Were there any themes that were left out that should have been included? So they could then add to these word and phrase choices if they felt there were really critical parts of that text that weren't represented. Then we're done with the small groups, and as a classroom, you're going to share the thinking. So they'll bring the record up to the front and let everybody take a look to see what kind of themes emerged and what kinds of learnings were consistent. And then finally, you'll have them share how did this routine impact their understanding. And hopefully they will recognize that their understanding has deepened and broadened, and that they are able to look at this text differently because of going through this routine and learning from each other. So you can see that different people might have different words or phrases that stand out to them, and as they talk about why those things stand out to them and are important, you get a really good idea of what they're thinking and learning. I hope as you use this routine that you will have a lot stronger classroom discussions. I'm going to put a link to this routine in the video description below. Good luck with your teaching.